Hi, my name is Patience Nyange. I'm a member of the Public Relations Society of Kenya, PRSK. My background is in journalism and communications. I served as a Kenyan journalist for 8 years before moving into public relations and communications for the last 7 to 8 years now. Today, I have a duty to talk about running successful digital campaigns. I start by asking the question, is the future of public relations in digital campaigns? Since the outbreak of coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic earlier in the year 2020, and in most cases we announced cases in March, in April, in Kenya we announced our first case in March 2020, it's evident that COVID-19 has proved to the world that normal is not permanent. The pandemic has granted us an opportunity, whether at a personal level, at family level, institutionally, nationally, and internationally, to pause and reflect while making adjustment as part of our survival tactics. The communication and public relations industry has undergone real challenging times. Those who have weathered the storm have had to get creative and innovative in a quick span because in communication we shouldn't waste a crisis. Those who put together their act, invented themselves, learned new skills, enrolled in a few online courses and learned the trick of digital communication remained afloat or continue to remain afloat. While most public relation clients still use traditional media coverage in promotion of their goods and services, a key area of global communication that is fast growing and gaining traction is digital communications management. We all agree, to some extent, I believe we all agree, that the future of communication is in digital. Therefore, the big question begs, what aspects of digital communication should today's public relations professionals be alive to? One such area is digital campaigns. Digital campaign, as the name suggests, involves tactical strategies used by individuals or companies, they could be private, they could be public companies, in driving a specific agenda with the aim of positive consumer experience, awareness creation, creating engagement, boosting traffic, and in some cases, revenue generation. In the year 2019 and 2020, I spent my year in the UK as a student at Cardiff University studying international public relations and global communication management for my master's degree. One of the courses that I truly enjoyed is digital communication management. We drew examples from international digital campaigns to local campaigns in Kenya and other countries. A successful digital campaign must be conducted within set objectives and in some cases what people call key performance indicators, KPIs. Before you do that, you need to consider the following. These are key considerations. One, you need to understand and define your target audience. Well, you want to carry a digital campaign. The question is, who are your target audience? Understanding the range of existing, current, and potential customers is a sure way of targeting the right audience. Sometimes you have to conduct a quick survey or do a research, and this research in most cases will tell you exactly what your target audience is looking for. What are their interests? What is the best way to communicate with them? Without this understanding, then you'll be wondering where your consumers are, and if at all, the investment in digital campaign is worth the sacrifice in terms of money and time invested. A master in personal branding and also a coach, her name is Susan Triton, says, one of the biggest mistakes that we do in relation to our audience is trying hard to appeal to everyone. Think about it as the game of darts, okay? So you have to aim harder to hit the board. If you let your darts go without aiming, you probably won't be making any sense. But if you hit the board, you score. And if your aim is perfect, then you hit the bullseye. And if you hit the bullseye, even better. Okay? So the first task is to ensure that you understand and you define your target audience. Once you have done so, the second bit is to review your content. Okay? From which you develop the most effective campaign messaging and sometimes, if you need be, use catchy hashtags. Well, if you are in an organization that has been in existence for a while now, you probably have so much content that you like to promote through a digital campaign. The temptation to put everything out there at a go is one that faces many organizations and individuals in the promotion of their products. However, do your very best to carry out a successful digital campaign by focusing on one agenda, one product, one messaging per campaign. There's no limit to us how many campaigns an organization can carry. And so right there is a good chance for you to carry as many campaigns as you can. Okay? One way of doing this is to conduct a content audit. If you do your content audit well, it will help you as an organization or as an individual to identify relevant content, matching it with the needs of the target audience while crafting sensible messaging and appropriate hashtags. Okay? So once you put everything together, you need to sieve it and see what is the kind of campaign that I want to carry out now. Once you know the kind of campaign you want to carry out now, then ensure that your content is in relation to that specific campaign. Make sure you seize the moment by finding a hook in each of your digital campaigns. How do you do this? Write and leverage on already existing frenzy and buzz if there is any during that time that you want to carry out your campaign, especially localized campaigns that have an international outlook. When writing on other existing hashtags, contextualize your hashtags so that it's searchable and trackable by your target consumers. I'll give you an example of what Kenya did. Last year in October, was it on October 4th? I believe it was on October 4th. During the 40th London Marathon in London, the 40th London Marathon, the Kenya Export Promotion and Brand Agency, KEPROBA in Kenya, leveraged on the London Marathon digital campaign to market and brand Kenya as the world's largest exporter of black tea. Okay? In addition, this is a perfect time to endorse what the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson had said earlier on in the year during the UK Africa Summit. This is what he said: in every 1 in 2 cups of tea drunk in Britain, 1 is from Kenya. Okay? Therefore, the choice to brand Kenya's tea and put appropriate content out there with the hashtag Make It Kenya when the world was watching the international marathon in full acknowledgement that Kenya is the home of champions was an excellent example of digital campaign by KEPROBA. Okay? Many people followed the marathon. People were watching, and of course we had our biggest legend there, Eliud Kipchoge. And as they watched, KEPROBA was busy churning out information concerning Kenyan tea, and of course branding tea as the world's largest exporter of black tea. The other thing that you also need to do is to ensure that you choose most appropriate digital platforms. Most of us are in many social media platforms. You're either on Facebook, you're either on Twitter, you are on Instagram, you are on LinkedIn, and many other platforms. But before embarking on a digital campaign, it's very important for you to understand that where your target audience are, understand the way they use the social media platforms. According to a 2020 Social Media Marketing Trends report by the Global Web Index, this is what it says: the most influential brands know that they need to stay on top of their consumers' social networking needs. And one way of doing so is by engaging your community and consumers through social media activities. However, this can only be achieved through knowledge of your consumers' behavior and trends online. You cannot engage them if you don't know at what time are they on social media or which is their favorite social media platform. You might be running a successful digital campaign on Twitter, yet your core audience are actually on Facebook. Or running a successful digital campaign on Instagram, yet your core target audience are actually on Twitter. Therefore, it's very important to ensure that tap into the digital consumer survey as a way of engaging which social media platform is the most appropriate for a given digital campaign. Another consideration in running a successful digital campaign is for you to ensure that you understand at what point will you require, whether it's an organization or will you need individuals to run this. Okay? Have enough budget for the same. This could be used for your content creation. Creative and innovative content sells. Therefore, do not underestimate the power of imagery, the power of videography, the power of infographics. Invest in content creators and content curators who understand your brief too well, and who understand your consumers as well. Therefore, when they're curating the content, they're actually doing it in full knowledge that this is the kind of audience that we're speaking to. And therefore, this audience, we can only speak to them in this way. To use or not to use influencers in digital campaign is an ending discussion, an ending discussion within the PR and communication industry. Should you want to use them, be sure that they stand and have the values that you believe in and have an influential digital footprint, and they're ready to get creative in the content that you give them. Okay? Through designing, in many cases, most people look at it and say, but this is a lot of work. Yes, it looks like designing and articulating a complete digital campaign might sound like a daunting task. But if you plan it well, implement it well, effectively and efficiently, the benefits are definitely worth the pain and the gain. Over and above all, strive to build trust with your consumers even before you need them. A brand is as good as what the consumers say about it. So before you engage in any digital campaign, ensure that the people that you're talking to already have endorsed your brand, already believe in the product that you want to sell. And when they see a digital campaign that is happening online, they will be happy to come on board. They're easily bought into the idea, this is my product, I know this product, or this is my service, I know this service, and I use it, and I'm happy to endorse it as well. Because most of the time, the campaign will easily start with a small cohort of people, for example, within an organization, and then if carried out successfully, gets endorsed by people who use the product. For example, if it's a given product that is being endorsed or a given product that is being promoted through digital campaigns. So the whole idea is for you to be able to consider these key considerations. I will repeat. 1, understand where your target audience are, what are their needs, and what will they like to see. You can do this by simply carrying out consumer survey to try and see where your target audience, what are their needs at this particular point, why do I want to carry out a digital platform, what should I be concentrating on. Number 2, the content that you want to churn out there, is it appropriate? Is it a content that meets the needs of your digital campaign? Once you have done so, ensure that your content is not boring. Use various ways of how you can explain the information that you want to give out. It could be through text messages, it could be through posters, it could be video, it could be through infographics. But use the most appropriate content that reaches your target audience. And finally, use the right and appropriate digital platform. If your target audience, through your survey, you realize that they're on Facebook, by all means use Facebook to communicate through your digital campaign. If you realize that your target audience are on Twitter, by all means, ensure that you carry out your digital campaign on Twitter. Thank you for listening. I hope that this starts a different conversation altogether. I'm happy to hear your feedback. I'm happy to engage with you and to hear your experience in carrying out digital campaigns. Once again, my name is Patience Nyange. I represent the Public Relations Society of Kenya. Thank you.